Before we starting the video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Story 1. Ethan Parker wiped the sweat from his brow as he pushed the mop across the dirty hallway of Harlington High School. It had been another long day of scrubbing floors and emptying trash cans. The janitorial job was thankless, and the meager paycheck barely covered his basic expenses. But for Ethan, the real struggle lay in dealing with his parents. Arthur and Evelyn Parker were relentless in their quest to find him a suitable match. They were wealthy socialites who believed that their son's life purpose was to marry into an influential family and secure their prestigious legacy. Every family gathering was a parade of eligible daughters, each more meticulously selected than the last. But Ethan was different. He had dreams and aspirations beyond their shallow expectations. He yearned for love, for a connection that transcended wealth and status. Yet his parents remained blind to his desires, dismissing them as foolish notions. As he trudged home that evening, Ethan's mind churned with desperation. He couldn't bear another day of his parents' relentless nagging and matchmaking attempts. They didn't understand him, nor did they care about his happiness. The weight of their expectations pressed upon him, suffocating his spirit. With a heavy sigh, Ethan slumped onto his worn-out couch. He stared at the peeling wallpaper and faded photographs adorning the walls, a reminder of a simpler time when his parents were less consumed by their social status. That's when an audacious idea sparked in his mind. I could play the role of a rich man's bride, he murmured to himself. The thought seemed ludicrous at first, but as he considered the possibilities, a glimmer of hope emerged. If he could find someone willing to go along with the charade, his parents might finally leave him alone. Ethan's fingers hovered over his phone, hesitating before he made the call. The number belonged to Richard Evans, a well-known matchmaker who specialized in connecting wealthy individuals with potential spouses. It was a shot in the dark, but Ethan had reached a point of desperation where he was willing to try anything. After a few rings, Richard's voice crackled through the speaker. "Hello, this is Richard Evans. How can I assist you?" "Mr. Evans, my name is Ethan Parker," Ethan began, his voice filled with a mix of trepidation and determination. "I have an unusual request, but I believe you might be able to help me." Intrigued by Ethan's boldness, Richard listened attentively as Ethan explained his predicament. There was a long pause on the other end of the line before Richard finally responded. "Miss Parker, I must say, your proposal is quite extraordinary, but I think I might have just the solution for you." Ethan's heart skipped a beat. He couldn't believe his luck. Perhaps this wild idea wasn't as far-fetched as he initially thought. "I can arrange for you to play the role of a wealthy man's bride," Richard continued. "I have a client who is seeking a discreet arrangement for personal reasons. It might be a temporary solution for both parties involved. However, I must warn you that it won't be an easy task. You will have to convince not only your parents but an entire society that you are the perfect match." Ethan hesitated for a moment, contemplating the potential consequences. But as he thought about the freedom it could bring, he made up his mind. "I'm ready to do whatever it takes," Ethan declared with newfound determination. "Please, Mr. Evans, help me escape this suffocating life." And with those words, a pact was formed. A daring plan that would challenge Ethan's principles, his relationships. A week had passed since Ethan's fateful phone call with Richard Evans, the matchmaker who promised a solution to his desperate situation. Now, standing at the threshold of his modest home, Ethan's heart raced with a mix of anticipation and anxiety. Richard and his wife, Margaret, were due to arrive any moment. As the doorbell rang, Ethan took a deep breath to steady his nerves. He opened the door to find Richard, a distinguished man in his 50s, with salt and pepper hair, standing alongside Margaret, an elegant woman exuding grace and charm. Their sharp attire and refined manners contrasted sharply with Ethan's humble surroundings. "Mr. Parker, a pleasure to meet you," Richard said, extending his hand with a warm smile. "This is my wife, Margaret." Ethan shook their hands, feeling a surge of both awe and intimidation. He couldn't help but wonder what this sophisticated couple saw in him. "Please come in," Ethan invited, gesturing towards his modest living room. Richard and Margaret followed Ethan inside, their eyes darting around, taking in the simplicity of his home. Ethan had tidied up the best he could, but it was evident that his abode lacked the opulence they were accustomed to. As they settled into the living room, Richard wasted no time getting down to business. "Mr. Parker, after carefully considering your situation, we believe we have found a suitable arrangement for you." Ethan leaned forward, his eyes fixed on Richard, hanging on to every word. "Our client, Mr. William Stratton, is an affluent businessman with his own share of complexities," Richard explained. "He desires discretion and is willing to enter into a marriage of convenience for personal reasons. You, Mr. Parker, possess the qualities that would be appealing to him." Ethan's mind whirled with questions, but before he could voice them, Margaret interjected. "We have thoroughly vetted you, Mr. Parker, and we must say, you are an intriguing candidate. Your looks, demeanor, and desire for change align perfectly with Miss Stratton's requirements." Ethan's heart swelled with a mix of excitement and trepidation. It seemed almost too good to be true. But deep down, he knew this opportunity was his ticket to liberation from his suffocating parents. Richard continued, "If you choose to embark on this path, we will guide you through the process. We will help you transform into the ideal partner for Miss Stratton, ensuring that you seamlessly blend into his affluent lifestyle." Ethan's mind raced with thoughts of the transformation that lay ahead. He knew it wouldn't be easy, but the allure of a fresh start and the chance to prove himself were too enticing to resist. "I'm willing to take on this role," Ethan declared, determination glinting in his eyes. "I want to break free from the expectations that have held me back for so long." Richard and Margaret exchanged knowing glances, their confidence in Ethan evident. "Very well, Mr. Parker," Richard said. "We will commence the preparations immediately. There is much to be done before the charade can begin." Over the next few weeks, Ethan found himself caught in a whirlwind of transformations. Richard and Margaret became his mentors, imparting knowledge of high society etiquette, refining his fashion sense, and instructing him on the art of conversation. They introduced him to influential individuals, teaching him how to navigate the intricate web of social gatherings. Amidst the glamour and superficiality, Ethan found an unexpected ally in Olivia, a talented fashion designer who had worked closely with Richard and Margaret. Olivia had an uncanny ability to see through the facade. Story 2. John Anderson walked aimlessly through the park, pushing the stroller that carried his newborn daughter, Emma. The weight of grief pressed upon him, each step a reminder of the void left by his beloved wife, Sarah, who had passed away shortly after giving birth. Emma's cries pierced through the tranquility of the park, echoing the turmoil within John's heart. He tried his best to comfort her, but his efforts seemed futile. Sleepless nights blended into endless days as John grappled with the overwhelming task of being a single parent. With a heavy sigh, John found a bench and sat down, his tired eyes scanning the surroundings. It was in this moment of desperation that an orphan named Michael approached them. Michael's eyes held a profound sadness, mirroring John's own grief. The young boy hesitated before gently placing his hand on the stroller. Inexplicably, Emma's cries softened, her restless movements stilled. John watched in astonishment as a sense of calm washed over his daughter, their connection to this mysterious orphan a balm to her distressed soul. Curiosity mingled with gratitude in John's heart as he struck up a conversation with Michael. The boy shared fragments of his past, revealing a life marked by loss and hardship. Yet, despite his own struggles, Michael possessed a remarkable ability to bring solace to infants. Days turned into weeks as John and Michael spent more time together. The widower found solace in the boy's presence, their shared experiences of loss forging a bond that transcended words. John yearned to learn more about Michael's gift and the depth of his connection to Emma. During their conversations, John discovered an unexpected link between Michael and Sarah, his late wife. A photograph hidden among Sarah's belongings depicted her standing alongside a younger Michael, their smiles reflecting a deep connection that John had been unaware of. The revelation shook John to his core, stirring up questions and uncertainties. Why had Sarah kept this connection a secret? What was the significance of Michael's presence in their lives? As John sought answers, he couldn't help but question his own ability to provide for Emma and honor Sarah's memory. Within the confines of his grief-stricken heart, tensions rose. John's extended family expressed doubts and concerns about the influence Michael might have on Emma's upbringing. Their interference tested John's resolve and threatened to undermine the fragile equilibrium he had found. As Chapter 1 came to a close, John stood at a crossroads. The widower's struggle, the enigmatic encounters with Michael, and the interference of his family all contributed to the uncertain path ahead. With a mix of trepidation and determination, John vowed to unravel the secrets that bound their lives together, unaware of the unexpected twists and turns that awaited him in the chapters to come. John's curiosity about Michael deepened, and he yearned to understand the mysterious connection the young orphan shared with his late wife, Sarah. Determined to uncover the truth, he arranged to meet Michael again, hoping for more insight into their intertwined lives. On a crisp autumn afternoon, John and Michael found themselves walking through the vibrant city streets. The fallen leaves crunched under their footsteps, creating a symphony of sound that matched the weight of their conversation. "Michael," John began, his voice laced with both apprehension and curiosity, "I discovered a photograph of you and Sarah. Can you tell me about your relationship with her?" Michael's eyes glistened with a mix of sadness and nostalgia as he recounted the story of their bond. "Sarah and I grew up together in the same foster home. We were like family, connected by the shared experiences of loss and longing. We found solace in each other's presence." John listened intently, captivated by Michael's words. The pieces of the puzzle were slowly coming together, and he sensed that there was more to this connection than mere coincidence. "I didn't know about your existence until after Sarah and I were married," John confessed, his voice filled with a mixture of guilt and regret. Michael's gaze softened, understanding John's conflicted emotions. "Sarah wanted to protect you from the pain of her past. She wanted to create a new beginning, untainted by the shadows that haunted her." John's mind whirled with questions, his desire for understanding becoming insatiable. "But why did Sarah keep our connection a secret? Why didn't she tell me about you?" Michael's eyes met John's, and in that moment, John saw the weight of the unspoken truths that burdened Michael's soul. "She didn't want to disrupt your happiness, John. Sarah believed that revealing our connection would complicate your life, and she cherished the love you shared." The realization struck John like a thunderbolt. Sarah had shielded him from the truth, sacrificing her own longing for a reunion with Michael to preserve their happiness. The depth of her love and selflessness left him speechless. As the days turned into weeks, John's bond with Michael deepened. The young orphan became a constant presence in Emma's life, his calming influence transforming her from a restless child to a contented soul. Their shared experiences created a unique family dynamic, a blend of loss, healing, and love. However, John's extended family remained skeptical and wary of Michael's role in their lives. Their interference intensified, fueling tensions within the fragile family unit. John found himself torn between honoring Sarah's memory and appeasing the concerns of his loved ones. Amidst the familial strife, John discovered an unexpected ally in his sister, Emily. She saw the transformation in Emma, the peace that Michael brought, and believed in the power of their connection. Emily urged John to follow his heart, reminding him that his happiness and Emma's well-being were paramount. Chapter 2 came to a close with John standing at a crossroads. The revelations of his connection with Michael, the interference of his family, and the delicate balance of honoring Sarah's memory all converged, testing John's resilience and determination. As he faced the challenges ahead, John resolved to protect the newfound bond he shared with Michael and Emma, unaware of the unexpected twists and turns that awaited them in the chapters to come. The moral of these two interconnected stories is twofold. First, they emphasize the transformative power of unexpected connections and the healing that can arise from shared experiences of loss. Both John and Michael find solace in their bond as they navigate the complexities of grief and single parenthood. The stories teach us that reaching out to others, even in moments of despair, can bring unexpected comfort and support. Secondly, the stories highlight the importance of embracing truth and facing the challenges that arise from it. John's journey to uncover the connection between Michael and his late wife, Sarah, forces him to confront his own fears and doubts. Through this process, he learns the value of honesty and the healing potential that comes from acknowledging the past. These stories teach us that healing, growth, and understanding can emerge from vulnerability and the willingness to face difficult truths. They encourage us to embrace unexpected connections, trust in the power of empathy, and navigate the complexities of family dynamics with compassion and open-mindedness.